I'm Andy Stevenson, commissioning executive at Channel 4 Sport. I'm working on Paralympics, a bit of Formula One, and horse racing, which is why we're up here in the northwest and about to head off to day 2 of the Grand National Festival at Aintree. Sorry, I was looking at the camera, wasn't I? Although this is a day in my life as a sports commissioner at Channel 4, I am usually in the office. This is quite a nice little away day work-wise. This car has obviously been heavily modified, so I've got a box in front of me here with push-button ignition, so I've pushed that button with my arm and it started the engine. The James Bond bit is the steering, so I've got my arm in a cup here, and as I turn my little steering wheel here, it electronically turns the main steering wheel. I get all sorts of great reactions at traffic lights and petrol stations and stuff. I've had like a guy who's sort of typical white van man, and he yelled across at me like, "Oh, how are you driving that? It's amazing, like it looks brilliant." I said, "Yeah, I control it with my voice." And I sort of went go, and then put my foot on the accelerator a little bit and moved forward about 10 yards, and he lost it completely, couldn't believe it. So one of the best things that people can say to me is when they say that they've just forgotten about my disability, you know, when they've worked with me for a few weeks or a few months and they forget. That's the goal, to be honest. We're here at the TV compound now at Aintree Racecourse, sort of behind the scenes. So I realised that I hadn't actually told you what my disability is. I was born like this, so sort of short arms, no hands, and then on my left side I have a leg which goes down to about knee level, so I wear an artificial leg. I was getting to an age where I realised that actually me playing the sport, sort of see that I was falling behind my classmates. So journalism, you know, came to mind as a way of staying in sport. And uni changed my plans slightly because I ended up getting involved in student radio. You know, you could be paid to talk about sport rather than write about sport, and I thought, well, that sounds a lot easier and a lot more fun. Even being here at the Grand National, actually, I mean, my hero growing up was Des Lynam, and I would watch the Grand National presented by Des, you know, from probably the age of 7, 8, 9, 10. And so to be here now, you know, working on the television coverage, you know, it is an ambition fulfilled, definitely. Particularly when I'm meeting new people, there is that awkward couple of seconds where the person I'm meeting doesn't necessarily know whether to put their hand out to, you know, hold my arm, to shake my arm. When I go into a room for the first time where there's lots of new people that I've not met, I actively try to almost just make myself as visible as possible to them before I meet them, just so that they've clocked me and they know what's going to happen. This is the scanner truck where the exec producer and everybody will sit, and ideally I could do with being in there, but this staircase, I'm not sure I feel too comfortable about going up there. It's nobody's fault, it's certainly not Channel 4's fault. It's just one of those things where TV compounds and TV trucks aren't designed with people like me in mind. I do need to be open and honest enough to say, we need a truck that I can get into. What I really need from my boss and colleagues is just that sense of treating me like, you know, I'm Andy. I'm not, you know, Andy with a disability. I can do the job just as well as anyone else, and I want to get to that point where they just don't see the disability, they forget about it. And that's exactly the feeling I get from my line manager now and the people I work with in the Channel 4 Sport team. I'm very clearly, sort of obviously, visibly disabled. And, you know, you could say that I am more disabled than somebody who used a walking stick, for example, or is maybe missing one arm rather than two. But I don't really think there are disabled people and able-bodied people. I just think we're on this scale. So whenever I hear sort of, you know, the disabled being used as a group, it drives me bonkers, because it suggests also that I have the same approach to things and same opinions as, you know, as Ellie Simmons, as Stephen Hawking. You know, every single one of us on this planet has a disability of some kind if we really sat down and thought about it. And it's just that some are more visible than others. It's only with the support of my family and, you know, my colleagues and friends and my wife and everybody that I've been able to get to this point. So, you know, okay, I might be sort of missing a few limbs, but I'm incredibly lucky as well in my life. So.